Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. It is deadline day. This is the last day. After today, it's done. The window tonight at 11 o'clock slams shut, as they say on Sky. And is anybody else going to be coming to Arsenal? That is a question that many people are asking. It looks like Arsene Wenger's done his business, to be fairly honest. There's not really much that seems to be happening. A lot of times you see things bubbling up. Although, remember with the Ozil deal, that did kind of come out of the blue. So let's have a look at some of the players that are getting linked today. Now, this one that's been linked today, the big one, Edinson Cavani. We haven't heard much about him this window. We've heard him now and again. But today, ESPN claimed that he's available for £55 million, the 28-year-old. The Metro newspaper are saying that Manchester United and Arsenal have made inquiries. The Star are saying it. If you read about what's been sort of happening with this Cavani thing, we've been hearing these stories for quite a long time now that he's not very happy at PSG. Despite PSG doing so well, he would like a move away because he doesn't get to play in his favoured centre-forward position. He's always forced out on the wing because of they've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who's basically the better player. £55 million, number one, that'd be a very, very high price tag to pay for a player that's basically, once you've bought him, he's not going to have any resale value. And I hear fans out there saying, well, who cares? But Arsene Wenger cares. The board of Arsenal cares. That's not really how they do business. They like to have a player that if it doesn't work out, they can sell him on and get, a decent amount of money back. If you buy him for £55 million and he stays for he's 29 in February. I think he's 29 on Valentine's Day. So in about a week or so's time, he's 29. By next season, he'll be 30. You buy him for £55 million. What would you be able to resell him for? Arsene Wenger and the board do think that way. This is highly unlikely. I don't think PSG as well would sell him. They're still in the Champions League. Yes, they're winning their league at a canter, but the Champions League is the main thing they want to go for because they know they've won their league already. I think they're about 20 odd points ahead. So, yes, seems lovely. It's a great dream. Although, just on the caveat to that, it has been put out there that it is his representatives that have been going around to Arsenal and Man United and various clubs and saying, listen, if you want him, you can have him. He will go. He is available if you put in this sort of money. But I just don't think that this deal is going to happen. So I think the Cavani one, we can... Nah, forget that. Yarmolenko, we were told the other day that Arsenal have basically agreed a deal to bring him in the summer. Again, this is unconfirmed, all right? So don't take that as gospel. But, there's a Ukrainian newspaper that put it out there that they said that they know that a deal has been agreed for Yarmolenko to move to Arsenal in the summer. However, there's some outlets today suggesting that maybe it might happen earlier than that. We saw... Apparently, there's been an injury to Thomas Rosicky that's going to rule him out for at least 4 weeks. He's picked up a setback injury after his appearance on Saturday. And there's suggestions that Wenger might be just tempted to say, you know what, let's just bring Yarmolenko in now. Rosicky's just too much injuries. Jack Wilshere's not coming back for now either. We haven't got Santi Cazorla, of course. So let's bring in Yarmolenko. Again, I see this one as unlikely based off of the fact that Dynamo Kiev are still in the Champions League. Yarmolenko is their main player. Why would they let him leave in January when they can let him leave in the summer and still get more or less the same sort of money for him? Ben Chilwell, been linked with him right throughout the transfer window. The Leicester youngster plays at left back. Arsenal been very interested in him. Today we're reading that Leicester would be prepared to sell him if it was a special offer. That's their words, a special offer. And when they're saying special offer, I don't think they're meaning that they'll do a special offer of a reduced fee. I think they're talking they want big money to even think about it. So at the moment, looks like Chilwell as well will not be going anywhere in this window. Again, it'd be, if anything's going to happen with that, you're more talking a summer deal. There was the Isco one that has been bubbling up throughout the whole of the window. I think this was hotter earlier on in the window. Isco, earlier on in the window, of course, he was very unhappy. That wasn't just rumours, that was facts. He was very unhappy and would have been up for a move. Real Madrid would have been up for selling him, but since Zidane's come in, you know, there's a lot of optimism around the place. They won yesterday again in the game, which Isco featured in that game as well. Zidane likes Isco, even though apparently the president would be willing to sell. I think it's highly unlikely that they'll sell. Like, this guy's a crowd favourite right now. Again, if anything happens with that, that is more likely to be a summer move. Marcelo Brozovic, linked again with him today. I was watching him play last night for Inter Milan. They got absolutely destroyed by AC Milan in that game, and I must admit, I wasn't that impressed by Brozovic. You can't go for one game, but I wasn't that impressed with him on that performance. But the midfield got completely overrun in that game. Brozovic again, as I said, he played the full game yesterday. Not likely to be moving, I don't think, from Inter Milan in this transfer window. Not even, remember, he's on loan from Dinamo Zagreb, so it's not even a straightforward deal. It's quite a complicated deal to make happen in the first place. And finally, where is Matthew Debuchy going to end up today? That's the interesting one. He looks like he's definitely leaving the club. He's gone on for the whole month. It's really weird that it's taken all this time and the deal still hasn't happened. Aston Villa are the favourites to get his signature. He wants to be playing week in, week out. The interesting thing about this one is, will Arsenal write into the deal that there'll be some sort of recall clause in it, that if we say we got any injuries, we could bring him back to the club? Because I'd still worry that if Bellerin's injured, all right, I know Callum Chambers can play there. He played there at the weekend, but Debuchy's better there. He's got more of a pace to get up and down. And I just wondered to myself, will there be some sort of recall clause? But I think we can expect to see Matthew Debuchy move in today. And finally, should we put in a cheeky bid for this guy? Should we go for try and put a cheeky bid in for John Terry? now that he's leaving Chelsea, put a cheeky bid in for John Terry, right, today on deadline day. And then right at the end of the day, turn around and say, actually, we were only joking. We don't really want him. That is amazing what's happening at Chelsea with John Terry. I'll tell you, Chelsea, as usual, doing things. It's the most, got so much money, Chelsea, but they've got to be one of the most unorganised clubs out there. The Eva Canero thing, how they've dealt with the Mourinho thing. This now, John Terry, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, that's their club. Who cares? Anyway, listen, let's see what you guys are having to say. The window's coming to an end. Said Sam HD said, I think we should buy Morata and having Martinez in the summer if the price is reasonable. Any of those deals that are going to happen are going to be summer. This summer transfer window is going to be so busy. First of all, you're going to have the Euros just before it, so you'll have loads and loads of players in the shop window. And then after that, the fact that Arsenal last season didn't buy any outfield players, they've only bought one player this window, really, a couple of youngsters. It's going to be busy because there's a lot of players moving out for us as well. Arsenal will be busy in the summer. They're going to have to be. Luis Jimenez says, just watched the Milan derby and Brozovic gave the ball away too many times and got outplayed from the Milan players. He looked so broken apart. There's no way he's coming to Arsenal. It wasn't a good performance. I watched that game. It wasn't a good performance by Brozovic at all. Mohammed says, nobody is coming. Deluded, greedy, stubborn Wenger is relying on injury-prone players, making the same mistakes over and over again. He needs to be sacked and the board as well. Well, hang on, Mohammed, who do you bring? Because you know what? You even look at Man City. They haven't signed anybody, really. Chelsea, Pato, an injury-prone player. That's what they're signing. Who signed anybody? What big player has really moved I mean, probably the biggest move that might happen this window might be Berahino. Is that what you want? I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things. In January, I don't think very hard to get those real mega players to move on because they're settled at their clubs. They've got Champions Leagues. It's difficult. It's really difficult, Mohammed. Mark Mancuso says if Brozovic leaves, it will be in the summer. Angad Sharma says Rosicky isn't coming back. He's injured again. Wilshere won't be back till March, which basically means he'll be back for the last 2 games or something like that of the season. The Atch 8 says, Robbie, you asked how can Gibbs want to move? Well, getting into play week after week may be worth more than being in a Champions League team where you're going to play once a month, more or less. But listen, what I'm saying is, yesterday, he's not just Champions League. He's in a team that's going for the title, right? And he wants to try and win the title. We're still in the FA Cup. Rather than you go and leave to some of those clubs they're suggesting, Newcastle, you know, Swansea, where you could be in a relegation battle and go down. What? That's rubbish. He's not going nowhere. John Verdal says Iwobi should play ahead of Oxlade-Chamberlain and Theo Walcott. At least Iwobi can pass, run past defenders, hold the ball and dribble better than the frauds like Theo and the Ox. The English core at Arsenal is a joke, overrated, injury-prone and inconsistent. Ooh, he's not very happy. Hamza Khan says Rosicky out for 6 weeks. This is what happened when you play the players so early after a lengthy injury. And Claude wanted Sanchez to play the full match versus Chelsea. And Claude's been getting a lot of stick this weekend for his comments on El Nene. You know, people not happy with him. They thought that I must agree. I thought El Nene had a decent debut, and it looks like El Nene possibly is going to be our only senior signing of this window. And let's hope that he is the player that can help us to get to where we want to get this season, which is we want to win that title. That is the one thing that we desperately want to do. Game tomorrow against Southampton, very important. Listen, we'll be giving you updates throughout the day. If anything does happen, we'll be straight on here live and we'll be giving that to you. So we'll be doing Periscopes throughout the day as well. We're going to be all over it today. So if anything does happen, we've got our ear to the ground. We will give it to you first here on Arsenal Fan TV. Also, don't forget, I'm going to be over on the Ball Street channel today. They're doing a transfer deadline day live special. I'm featuring on that as well. But the main priority here, anything at all happens to do with Arsenal, any movements, we're straight on it here on Arsenal Fan TV. So look out for that. And Isco, maybe, please. I doubt it. Last day of the window. Let's see what happens.